doesn't live?
Oh, well, I think it depends upon what the deal is, and we'll have to see. I'll even reserve judgment, even though I'm concerned about where we're headed, on what the final deal looks like. But if it's a bad deal, I think there would be votes in the Senate to say it's a bad deal.
Okay, Senator Menendez, thank you very much for your time. Sorry we had to cut it short because of the breaking news. That's it for me. Newsroom with Brooke Baldwin starts right now.
This is CNN Breaking News.
All right, here we go. Breaking news on CNN. I'm Brooke Baldwin. Thank you so much for being with me. Listen, if you've been paying attention in the last couple of hours, you know the deal. These three major technical malfunctions today, bringing three huge U.S. operations really to their knees. You have the New York Stock Exchange suspending trading for more than 2 hours now after experiencing this internal technical issue. It all started at 11:32 this morning. And as we come to you here live right now, activity on the stock exchange floor still virtually non-existent. We'll take you there. Traders sort of scratching their heads in this sort of more or less information vacuum, wondering what the heck's going on. I don't know how much they're really panicking here as the Dow plummeted on the back of what the New York Stock Exchange insists is, quote unquote, an internal technical issue. Adding to that mystery, at the very same time, the Wall Street Journal's homepage went dark. And earlier this morning, United Airlines grounded thousands of flights worldwide because of what it's calling a network connectivity issue. To be clear, not a cyber breach, is what we're hearing really with all of the above, but still odd that this is all happening on the very same day. Let's have a big conversation about this and see what we know at this point. 2 more hours here of the trading day, so things typically getting busy. Let's go. First, we have Allison Kosick. I have CNN Money's Paul LaMonica, and also joining us, cybersecurity expert Rod Beckstrom, and our aviation correspondent Renee Marsh will also join us. So lots of voices here. But Allison Kosick, to you first and foremost there at the stock exchange, what happened?
That really is the question of the day, Brooke. No one really knows, or no one's saying what happened, maybe because they just don't know. I talked with one trader. He said he was just working along and suddenly the music just stopped. Now, we did get some indication that there may have been some sort of issue, technical issue, before the trading day began. Traders here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange were sent an email alert from the New York Stock Exchange, which isn't something that happens every day, but it's not necessarily unusual. And in that alert, the stock exchange said there was a reported issue or some sort of technical issue with about 220 stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange, meaning you couldn't buy or sell those stocks. That issue was resolved around 10:45 today, and all seemed fine until around 11:30 when, once again, as that trader said, the music just stopped. Brooke?
Okay, let me come back to you because I want more from what's really happening on the floor and what you've been hearing from some of these traders. But Paul LaMonica, let me turn to you. And Marty, if we can take a two-shot. And guys, throw as we have the big board behind us. Because this is what's perplexing me. If we're talking about, the stoppage on the markets, I'm still watching some of the numbers ticking. Explain that to me.
Yeah, Allison joked earlier that many traders are just playing video games right now, but it's not completely dark for people that invest for a living. You have the Dow still moving because some of these stocks on the NYSE are trading on other platforms that haven't been affected. Also, there are companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Intel. They're in the Dow, but they don't trade on the NYSE. They're listed on the NASDAQ, so they haven't been affected by this either.
Bigger picture, in terms of, we've been talking a lot about Greece and will they or won't they stay in the Eurozone and what's happening there. We talked just the other day about, China and the markets really taking quite the plunge there. So you already have nerves frayed globally. But whenever this resumes, will this at all impact global markets or just someone like me who maybe has a little money in the market?
There might be a short-term dip as a result of this. It definitely does shake confidence, even for professionals who do this for a living. But the bigger picture really is that the stock market was down today pretty sharply before this even happened because, as you mentioned, China, their stock market is in complete chaos right now, and that's making a lot of people nervous. And we still don't know what the heck is going on with Greece. The next deadline is Sunday. Are they going to stay in the Eurozone or not? That's what the pros are really worried about.
We know, at a higher level, the White House has reacted to this. Josh Earnest speaking to the press pool just a little bit ago at the top of the daily briefing. Let's take a listen.
One of the most important elements of our strategy for safeguarding the nation's computer networks from cyber threats is effective communication and sharing of information between private sector officials and the federal government, particularly those elements of the federal government that are responsible for responding to cyber threats. The New York Stock Exchange does have an effective information sharing relationship with the federal government, and I think the information that I've shared with you is an indication of how valuable that kind of information sharing can be.
So, Rod, let me just come to you and ask you this point blank, because, you know, when you're talking about technical glitches or connectivity issues all on the same day, you know, and very clearly officials saying this is not the result of a cyber breach, it just makes me wonder if somebody does have nefarious intentions, how easy something can happen.
Sure. Well, obviously, it's a bad day out there, and it's strange. It's like the stars are very crossed. Now, clearly, the technical staff of these organizations believe it's not a hack, or they wouldn't be coming out with these statements. However, it's interesting that these are three iconic American brands and entities that relate to, you know, our country: United Airlines, Wall Street Journal, and the New York Stock Exchange. So all of a sudden, you know, you can start imagining that there might be a motive of some parties to send some kind of a signal. It does not appear to be, you know, motivated by criminal hackers trying to take money. So it's interesting what kind of hacktivists or political hackers, if any, are taking this action, or is it just strange coincidence and the stars are crossed?
Let's hope it's just a strange coincidence and that the stars are crossed, right, for all of our sakes, though it is quite an odd coincidence. Renee Marsh, on the airline angle, so it was United who grounded, 5,000 flights, all because of an issue with their reservation system?
Right, so it was nearly 5,000. We're talking worldwide. Their operations were impacted by this very widespread computer problem. According to the airline, this is a router that was affecting their computers or their networks connectivity. So essentially the ability for their computers to talk to one another. That was a problem. It wasn't happening, and it wasn't happening effectively. However, an airline source is telling me, knocking it down, saying this by no means was an act of a hacker, and it was not at all in any form connected to what we're seeing happening at the New York Stock Exchange. And we know that Department of Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson just sounded or echoed that sentiment a short time ago, saying that he himself spoke with the CEO of United, and at this point he has been informed that it has nothing to do with a hacker. So it looks like this is a system problem, a technical problem that they are dealing with. We do know that they've resolved that issue and flights are now taking off once again. But Brooke, the damage really is already done. Even though these flights are taking off, there's still thousands of passengers out there who are dealing with delays and crews that have to be swapped around because they may have run out of hours. So the problems haven't ended yet, although they've resolved the computer issues.
Okay, Renee, stand by. Allison Kosik, back to you at the New York Stock Exchange. I mean, I'm looking at my clock. I have 2:08 Eastern time, right? So this is typically when things really start picking up, especially that final hour, that final half hour. Nothing so far. My question would be, if it doesn't resume by the end of the trading day today, then what?
That really is a good question, but the New York Stock Exchange president is on the floor of the exchange right now, actually speaking with another network, saying that the plan is to reopen the New York Stock Exchange around 2:45 or 3 o'clock. That it's not quite ready to open just yet. He says that he wants to open the stock exchange before the close of trading. So that clock is ticking. We're less than 2 hours away until that closing bell rings. And in fact, I spoke with a trader earlier who said, we've got to get the trade open today. I said, why? He said, because of confidence. They want to, even just for a half hour, get the trade back going for confidence. Brooke?
Okay, then let me take that note and end with you, Paul LaMonica. If we're hearing now, this is the first we're hearing of this on CNN, that the president of the New York Stock Exchange is saying in about 40 minutes from now, 40 to 50 minutes from now, they're going to reopen the exchange. How will, I mean, in terms of volatility, panic, not really panicking, you know, you were talking about confidence for people who are maybe sort of the Wall Street naysayers, maybe this would affect them. What will things look like?
It's psychologically important to get the market
right?
open today. I definitely agree with what everyone's saying on the trading floor. It's going to be very interesting to see what stocks do if they do, in fact, open for that final hour and 15 minutes of trading.
Should people get in at the last minute?
I think anyone that's not doing this for their daily life. It's not their calling. Just sit tight. If you've got a 401k, don't even look at it today.
Okay.
One thing that is amusing to note, even though no one thinks that this is all about cybersecurity and hacking, there are a lot of stocks that are in the business of selling cybersecurity solutions. There's even a fund with a ticker HACK. It's up today while the rest of the market's down.
HACK. Hack, ladies and gentlemen. The irony, the fun, the sense of humor I guess some people have here. We'll be watching for them to reopen. Allison Kosick, Paul LaMonica, Rod Beckstrom, and Renee Marsh. Thank you very much. More on the breaking news here and the unusual situation unfolding at the New York Stock Exchange. Computer glitch bringing trading to a halt today. Again, we'll get you the full statement from Jay Johnson, the Homeland Security Secretary, what he has just said. He was actually at this cybersecurity event just this past hour. We'll play that for you. Keep it here. You're watching CNN Special Live coverage. We'll be right back.
When it comes to Medicare, everyone talks about what happens when you turn 65. But really, it's what you do before that counts. See, Medicare doesn't cover everything, only about 80% of Part B medical costs. The rest is on you.
Consider an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. Like all standardized Medicare Supplement insurance plans, it could really save you in out-of-pocket medical costs. So call now and request this free decision guide. Discover how an AARP Medicare Supplement plan could go long for you.
You want to choose your doctors. Avoid networks. What about referrals?
All plans like these let you visit any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients, with no networks and virtually no referrals needed. So call now, request your free guide, and explore the range of AARP Medicare supplement plans.
65 may get all the attention, but now is a good time to start thinking about how you want things to be.
Go long.
It's not just a suit anymore, it's a mind change.
This July, bring your gently used professional attire to Men's Warehouse and we'll donate it to men re-entering the workforce. And as a thank you, you'll receive 50% off your next purchase.
Give a suit, change a life.
Yes, we are twins. When I went on to Ancestry, I just put in the name of my parents and my grandparents. And I was getting all these leaves, and I was going back generation after generation.
You start to see documents, and you see signatures of people that you've never met.
I mean, you don't know these people, but you feel like you do. You get connected to them. I wish that I could get into a time machine and go back 100 years, 200 years, and just meet these people. Being on Ancestry, it just made me feel like I belonged somewhere.
Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
If you suffer from a dry mouth, then you'll know how uncomfortable it can be. But did you know that the lack of saliva can also lead to tooth decay and bad breath? Well, there is Biotene, specially formulated with moisturizers and lubricants. Biotene can provide soothing relief, and it helps keep your mouth healthy, too. Biotene, for people who suffer from a dry mouth.
Shopping online is as easy as it gets. Wouldn't it be great if hiring plumbers, carpenters, and even piano tuners were just as simple? Thanks to Angie's List, now it is. We've made hiring anyone from a handyman to a dog walker as simple as a few clicks. Buy their services directly at angieslist.com. No more calling around, no more hassles. And you don't even have to be a member to start shopping today.
Angie's List is revolutionizing local service again. Visit angieslist.com today.
When you invest your retirement in the stock market, your money can go up, then down. And with many annuities, your income has no chance of increasing. But with JD Signature Annuity Strategies from JD Melberg, you can get more guaranteed increasing income for life, up to 33% more.
There's a locked-in guarantee on the income payout. It can never go below that. It can only increase.
Working with top-rated insurance carriers, we specially design higher income annuity strategies for increasing guaranteed income that could even double. So don't wait. Call 800-479-4008 and learn ways to help maximize your retirement income in this free JD Melberg Signature Annuity Strategies Guide. You'll also receive our exclusive report on the 7 mistakes retirees can't afford to make in 2015. And the first 100 callers get this free DVD. Maximize your retirement and Social Security income. Little known strategies revealed. Don't miss out. Call now. 800-479-4008.
Closed captioning brought to you by MeSoBook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. That's why we offer this free book call 1-800-400-5415.
We're back with our breaking news. I'm Brooke Baldwin. You're watching CNN. Right now, the New York Stock Exchange still at a standstill since 11:32 this morning Eastern Time, all because of this technical issue. But as we just heard, reported from the New York Stock Exchange from our Allison Cossack, we are hearing from the president of the New York Stock Exchange that they will resume trading in about 40 minutes from now. Adding to this intrigue, at the very same time today, the Wall Street Journal's homepage went dark. And this morning, United Airlines planes worldwide were grounded after what we're told there was a computer system malfunction, some sort of network connectivity issue, all happening in the same day. Listen, a lot of people still scratching their heads over this. Let me bring in CNN Global Affairs correspondent Elise Labott and Juliette Kayyem, CNN National Security Analyst. Ladies, welcome. Elise, to you first. I mean, even though, listen, we're hearing it's a glitch, it's just a little technical issue, still at very high levels. The president's been briefed, the FBI was called, and Jeh Johnson has spoken about this.
That's right, Brooke, and I think it shows the initial level of concern of the administration to make sure that this wasn't some wider type of issue, some U.S. hack or cyber attack. President Obama was briefed. The FBI did reach out to the New York Stock Exchange. Obviously, they always have close cooperation with agencies of this nature. And here at the State Department, I checked, and they've already looked into their systems. And the State Department spokesman, Mark Toner, just said that there were no affecting of the State Department computers. So clearly every U.S. agency right now looking at their own systems to see if this isn't something wider. And even though these seem terribly coincidental, you have to take it into context of the wider climate that exists in the U.S. There have been a lot of hacks, a lot of cyber attacks. Just last month, you had the U.S. government computers hacked, thousands of security records, personnel records obtained. The U.S. believes it was China. No one is officially saying that, and clearly the Chinese have denied it. And a year before, you had that big Sony attack, that hack by North Korea, the U.S. believes. And so this is everybody feels very vulnerable, and why this does seem to be a bunch of wacky, coincidental technical glitches. Surely the administration is watching it very closely.
Wacky indeed, Elise Labott. And we mentioned, Juliette, before I come to you, the DHS Secretary, Jeh Johnson, he was at some sort of cybersecurity event just last hour, and this is what he said.
It appears that today we had system malfunctions at United, at the New York Stock Exchange, and the Wall Street Journal. I have spoken to the CEO of United, Jeff Smisek, myself. It appears, from what we know at this stage, that the malfunctions at United and the Stock Exchange were not the result of any nefarious actor. We know less about the Wall Street Journal at this point, except that their system is back up again, as is the United Airline system.
All right, so that was Jeh Johnson just last hour. Juliette, before we get into the what-ifs, how all these people coming forward and saying technical glitch, how were they able to check that so quickly?
Well, at least let me just go back for a second and just talk about different domains in the cyber world for those of us in security. There's the .mil, which is military controlled by the Pentagon, .gov, which is supposed to be protected by DHS, and then just plain old .com. So if you look at these glitches today, they're all .com, right? So they're all sort of in that open space, of which everyone is dependent on the institution, the private company, the NYSE, to sort of create their own cyber defenses. So all of those places, Wall Street Journal, United, NYSE, have pretty sophisticated teams who, at least from what they're looking at, know that there was no outside infiltration, that somehow some glitch got into the system that caused this, what they're claiming to be separate malfunctions in each of the systems. What I take a step back is I would never assume that something like this is a coincidence. So I'm sort of surprised how quickly everyone's coming out.
That's what everyone's saying so far.
Going on, and then bring it. Yeah. Pardon?
I'm just saying that's the word we keep hearing over and over. Coincidence.
Yeah.
You're not buying it.
I would assume the opposite. It's not that I'm not buying it. It was just everyone came out so quickly. Why would you assume it's a coincidence knowing that our .com system is pretty vulnerable? I mean, in other words, we should look at it like it's not a coincidence and then figure out whether, well, there just happen to be these big glitches all on the same day at a relatively the same time. And there's no proof that any of these companies were upgrading systems, were doing anything that would have caused glitches to occur simultaneously.
So then what would explain this and doesn't this really speak to the vulnerabilities of these three different fairly major entities?
I think we have to assume that the .com space and even the .gov space are relatively vulnerable just given the nature of the cyber networks and the interconnectedness, right? So that's going to happen. And so cybersecurity is really about putting up a number of defenses, redundancies, backup systems so that the whole system doesn't go down simultaneously. And so that's what I find interesting about this is that this glitches brought down entire systems. No cyber network is really built that way. You'd want to have a whole bunch of redundancies and backups to ensure that one glitch doesn't bring down the whole system. So that's what I would be looking at this stage. And then later on, you can say, well, it just happens to be a coincidence.
Okay. Julia Kayyem, thank you. Elise Labott, thank you as well. Again, just a reminder, hearing that it should be reopened. New York Stock Exchange in about 20 minutes from now. We're watching. You can watch it on CNNMoney.com. Next, new information into the shooting death of a young woman on a San Francisco pier. This man here, Juan Francisco Lopez Sanchez, says he found the gun. Officials say the weapon was stolen from the car of a federal agent. And now we have new details on that gun. That's coming up.
A well-put-together man is said to be sharp. At GMC, we get why people appreciate that kind of precision. After all, precision is the kind of sharp that slices through a crowd. This is precision. This is Denali from GMC.
You totaled your brand new car. Nobody's hurt, but there will still be pain. It comes when your insurance company says they'll only pay 3/4 of what it takes to replace it. What are you supposed to do, drive 3/4 of a car? Now, if you had Liberty Mutual new car replacement, you'd get your whole car back. I guess they don't want you driving around on 3 wheels. Smart.
New car replacement is just one of the features that comes standard with the base Liberty Mutual policy. And for drivers with accident forgiveness, rates won't go up due to your first accident. Learn more by calling 1-888-675-3155. Switch to Liberty Mutual and you could save up to $423. For a free quote today, call Liberty Mutual Insurance at 1-888-675-3155. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Have you ever wondered if you can bring your pet ostrich into your hotel room? Trivago knows, but I couldn't care less. I have an emu. Hotel Trivago.
Mesothelioma victims and their loved ones may be entitled to a cash award from the $18 billion in asbestos trust funds, and you may not have to file a lawsuit to qualify. If diagnosed with mesothelioma or lung cancer caused by exposure to asbestos, call the number on your screen now. Even if a loved one had mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer and is passed, your family may still be entitled to a cash award. Mesothelioma is a rare cancer caused by exposure to asbestos. Many victims worked in the Navy or in shipyards, mills, carpentry, roofing, insulation, construction, or automotive industries. For over 30 years, our legal team has successfully helped thousands of victims and families. Time is limited. You may not have to file a lawsuit if you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma or lung cancer caused by exposure to asbestos.
Call 1-855-239-6321. That's 1-855-239-6321.
Tonight, Anderson Cooper sits down with Donald Trump and talks about his controversial comments on immigration and his competitors for the Republican nomination. What will he tell America now? Anderson Cooper 360, tonight at 8 Eastern.
Join the search for the perfect home on House Hunters. Bargain hunters will love this smoking deal.
I smell a stinky cigarette smell.
Ooh, and look, this one has a trendy outdoor kitchen.
The refrigerator is actually on the back porch.
I'm not going to the backyard for eggs.
Watch House Hunters every weeknight at 10.
Sponsored locally by Sunrun. Go solar with Sunrun and start saving on your electric bill. Save with the sun. Sunrun.
Save thousands on the new revolutionary swim spa at a one-time event.
Friday through Sunday.
Alameda County Fairgrounds, Pleasanton.
Exercise with low impact.
Swim the entire year and stay in shape.
Teach your kids to swim.
Unwind and save thousands.
Avoid the expense and maintenance involved with a pool. Swim, exercise, and relax in your new aquatic exercise swim spa. Installation and one day only.
New 2015 inventory.
12 months interest-free financing.
Millions of dollars of inventory must be sold.
Friday through Sunday.
Alameda County Fairgrounds, Pleasanton.
Free admission.
Free parking.
Call 1-888-SPA-SALE.
We will rock you.
A new revelation in the shooting death has added fuel to this immigration debate in the race for the White House. CNN learning a federal agent's stolen gun was used to shoot and kill Kate Steinle as she walked with her father on a busy San Francisco pier, middle of the afternoon, broad daylight. The man now charged with her murder, undocumented immigrant Juan Francisco Lopez Sanchez, a man who had been deported 5 times already, was in the city because of this sanctuary law. It's what he told a local reporter himself. It's an ordinance that bans handing immigrants over to federal officials without a court order, even repeat felons like this suspect who wound up shooting and killing this woman with a stolen gun. Dan Simon is live in San Francisco for us with more on this today. And so, as we've spoken, Sanchez has told now local media 2 stories. One, that he found the gun and that it accidentally went off. The other was what?
Well, Brooke, first of all, that's Pier 14 behind me, and that's where this all went down exactly 1 week ago today. And when this happened, the question that everybody had was, where did the gun come from? We're talking about somebody who's been convicted of 7 felonies. He's been deported 5 times. How does somebody like Sanchez get a hold of a weapon? And perhaps we're getting a little bit more clarity. So what we've been told is that this was a federal agent's weapon, and a source tells us that the agent actually worked for the Bureau of Land Management and that his car was broken into sometime this summer. Now, we're also told that this weapon was his personal weapon, not a government-issued weapon. So that tells us a little bit about the gun. Now, in terms of what Sanchez says, is he says that he found it underneath a bench, that it was wrapped in a T-shirt. How exactly he came into possession of this weapon, that's still a part of the investigation. Brooke?
And to be clear, he in that interview, that jailhouse interview with the local reporter, said, yes, I shot her, but he has pleaded not guilty.
He has pleaded not guilty. He's being held on $5 million bail. And when you look at him in the courtroom, he seemed to be all over the place, to be quite honest. I don't know if we're talking about a cognitive issue here, but when the judge asked him questions that weren't pertaining to, if he's guilty or not guilty, he just kept repeating the same thing, not guilty. The court date has been scheduled for July 27th, not guilty. So we talked to his lawyer afterwards, and he said he thinks that his client understood what was going on in the courtroom, but he also said we're talking about somebody who just has a second-grade education. Brooke?
Dan Simon, thank you. We have more in our breaking news. The unusual situation unfolding at this moment, and has been for the last couple of hours at the New York Stock Exchange, is computer glitch bringing trading to a total halt, specifically with the NYSE. We're learning they may resume trading. We're watching the clock and live pictures of the floor here in about 10, 15 minutes from now. We'll take you there live coming up. Also ahead, Joyce Mitchell, that prison seamstress at the Clinton Correctional Facility who helped those 2 convicted murderers escape. She's been in custody. What could she face? We'll talk to a former prison worker who also helped a prisoner escape and serve time herself. Her unique perspective. Next.
Can a protein originally found in a jellyfish improve your memory? Our scientists say yes. Researchers have discovered a protein that actually supports healthier brain function. It's the breakthrough in a supplement called Prevagen. As we age, we lose proteins that support our brain. Prevagen supplements these proteins and has been clinically shown to improve memory. It's safe and effective. For support of healthier brain function, a sharper mind, and clearer thinking, try Prevagen for yourself today.
You have the right to choose freely. It's Article 1 in Golden Corral's Golden Bill of Rights. So now you can choose breakfast items for lunch and dinner. Dig into new breakfasty things like French toast topped with sweet strawberries and cream cheese, the ultimate breakfast burrito, made-to-order omelets, and more. All you want at a price you can afford. Bob, what time is it?
It's 1 p.m.
Bob, it's breakfast time. It's always breakfast time. Golden Corral, the best buffet in the USA.
Big day? The usual. Moved some new cars. Bought a bunch of steel. Kept the supermarket shelves stocked. Made sure everyone got their latest gadgets. What's up for the next shift? Nothing much. Just keeping the lights on. Nice.
Doing the big things that move an economy.
See you tomorrow, Mac.
See you tomorrow, Sam. Just another day at Norfolk Southern.
Box for razors.
Hold on 1 second. This is not enough.
That's all I have.
How about the watch? And I'll need that shirt too. Thank you.
Still getting beat up by high razor prices? DollarShaveClub.com ships amazing razors for just a few bucks.
Mom, I still can't believe it.
I know. Monday morning, he played golf. Today, he's gone.
Well, how could this happen so suddenly?
Hey, how's the clean out going up here?
Actually, we were just talking about Joe.
It has to be so hard on his family.
Yeah, and on top of everything else, I hear he didn't have life insurance.
What are they gonna do? The funeral and the credit card bills alone.
I know. I also know we really need to get coverage ourselves.
We tried before, but with our budget...
Maybe it's time to try again. I just saw something about a new policy for MetLife. There are no medical questions or exams, and it sounds affordable.
Do we have to talk about this?
Actually, yes, we do. We need the protection, and it will help give me some peace of mind.
We should definitely look into it.
I'm on it.
No one can predict the future, but now you can help protect the future so the people you care about. If you're age 45 to 75, call MetLife today and ask about final expense whole life insurance. It's simple, affordable coverage designed to help cover expenses such as medical bills, credit card debt, and funeral costs. Coverage amounts range from $2,500 to $20,000. Rates start at just $10 per month, and we have a variety of payment options. Applying for coverage can be done in a single phone call. There are no medical questions or exams, and you cannot be turned down for health reasons. Your rates are guaranteed never to increase for the life of the policy, and your coverage will never decrease. Call today and see how easy it can be to get reliable coverage from a name you know. If you thought you couldn't get life insurance before, now you can. Final expense whole life insurance from MetLife can help give you the protection you need and the peace of mind you deserve.
Call 1-855-286-3333 to learn more. That's 1-855-286-3333. 1-855-286-3333.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ultimate Flora Probiotics by Renew Life.
Your gut is your digestive core, so choose Ultimate Flora by Renew Life. It has 30 billion probiotic cultures. Feel lighter and more energized. Ultimate Flora. More power to your gut.
We are just past the bottom of the hour. You're watching CNN. I'm Brooke Baldwin. Got to talk about that prison seamstress, that ex-prison employee accused of helping 2 New York inmates escape. We now have learned she has been moved to a county jail. I'm talking about 51-year-old Joyce Mitchell, who was transferred just yesterday from a correctional facility to the Clinton County Jail. She had been at that first location because investigators just didn't want her near the site of the manhunt. Clinton County Jail is in Plattsburgh, New York. It's about 15 minutes from the Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora. I know, sounds similar, 2 different places. But that is where Mitchell used to work and where those convicted killers, Richard Matt and David Sweat, escaped. Mitchell faces up to 8 years in prison for her alleged role in this escape plan. She has pleaded not guilty to all charges and is being held on a $220,000 bond. The real question, now that she's behind bars, how will she be treated? Joining me now, Toby Dorr, a former prison worker who once helped an inmate she loved escape. Toby Dorr, you were fascinating and phenomenal the last time we talked to you, so thank you so much for coming back.
You're welcome. Thanks.
All right, so now that we know she is officially at this jail, are we to assume her reputation precedes her? Would the guards, would the inmates know, and how will she be received?
Well, I think that, of course, everybody will know who she is and why she's there. At least they did in my case. And when I first went to the jail, I was kept in isolation for 3 weeks because the warden thought that I would be a target from the other inmates and be, beat up or have somebody try to steal things from me. And I didn't like being all alone. So I signed a waiver releasing them of any responsibility and requested to go into general population. And I never did have any trouble. I think that she'll find that there's a lot of different women in there from a lot of different places in their life. And I learned that there were a lot of women that I could help them learn to read or help them write letters to home, or it just depends. I didn't find that I ever had any kind of fear when I was in the jail.
And I think just for people who are watching who didn't watch our chat the last time, you had worked at this prison, kind of similar. Yes. Had fallen in love with this inmate, helped him escape with the help of a dog crate.
Yes.
Hung out in a cabin for a little while until you got caught. With all these women and the fact that they knew who you were, what's the system, what's the hierarchy in these prisons among these ladies?
Well, it seemed kind of weird, but I was kind of held in a higher esteem by the other women that were in there. And I think it was
because why, Toby?
I think it was because I was educated and I'd had a job and I wasn't from the streets, as they would call it. So I think they looked up to me for advice on what to do with some of the things going on in their lives.
And the fact that you had helped pull off a prison escape, were you seen as a hero at all?
In some of the inmates' eyes, but more so when I got to prison. And some of them thought that I was a celebrity, and I didn't buy into that hype. I just wanted to do my time and go home. But she probably may run into some people who think that, what she did was really cool. But she might also run into some people who think that, that was pretty stupid what she did. So I think it's not a lot different than out here.
Having lived the journey that you've lived and come out on the better side and we're able to talk about this, what advice would you have for her behind bars?
I would tell her to, not talk about her case, of course, to keep that to herself, and to, make friends as well as you can. I really can't call them friends, but, become friendly with some of the inmates, but be guarded at the same time. And don't ever let your guard down. But I think there's some camaraderie to be found inside of a jail or inside of a prison, and it does help get you through some of the darker days.
Toby Doerr, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Brooke.
Coming up next, we're going to take you back to our breaking news here at the New York Stock Exchange. Still the stoppage since 11:30 this morning Eastern Time, all because of this computer glitch. Again, they're saying not the result of a cyber breach. This is an internal technical issue. We're watching to see if it could be opening in the next couple of minutes. We'll take you to the floor of the New York Stock Exchange next. You're watching CNN live coverage.
Planet Earth. Life here is getting better. Big businesses and small are crossing more borders, bringing prosperity and optimism into people's lives. This is the power of global trade. Of course, there's still a long way to go, but the more the world keeps on trading, the better it's going to get for everyone, everywhere. That's why we'll deliver today, tomorrow, and the day after.
Attention homeowners. Quicken Loans has some very important information regarding the U.S. government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. We've told you about HARP in the past, and we're happy to report that nearly 3 million homeowners have already taken advantage of this fantastic money-saving program. But there are so many more of you who could be saving hundreds of dollars every month on your mortgage. Quicken Loans is here to help you save your money. Why Quicken Loans? The home loan experts at Quicken Loans fully understand the HARP guidelines. We'll work with you to understand your specific circumstances and strive to find the financial solution that's best for you. Then we'll guide you through each step of the mortgage refinance process to make sure that it's both simple and easy. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And this year, for the first time, they've also ranked us highest in the nation in mortgage servicing. If you're not familiar with HARP, it's a U.S. government program designed specifically for homeowners who have little or no equity. A great feature of the HARP program is that most HARP refinance loans do not require an appraisal, and there are fewer income verification requirements. That makes it simpler, easier, and even faster. And even if you've been denied for a HARP loan in the past, new guidelines mean that you now may be eligible. Give us a call and we'll give you a Quicken Loans mortgage review. And we'll do all we can to help you save money on your mortgage. It's simple and easy. So find out if you're eligible to take advantage of today's incredibly low interest rates and start saving money every month on your mortgage. Call Quicken Loans today or go to quickenloans.com for a mortgage experience that's engineered to amaze.
Today, they found the bodies of at least 3 young boys.
Found 6 more bodies under the John Gacy house.
Young paper boys discovered what appeared to be the latest victim.
The worst mass murders in American history.
Dean Corll.
Charles Manson. The Zodiac Killer.
The Son of Sam.
Ted Bundy.
The Hillside Strangler.
It's frightening. That's the only word I can use. Frightening.
The 70s, tomorrow night at 9.
Do you have jewelry you're not wearing? Turn it into cash at San Francisco Gold Buyer. Our experienced staff will assess your valuables using the latest scientific instruments to give you an accurate, honest value. San Francisco Gold Buyer also buys and sells coins, jewelry, and handbags, and much more. Ask about our collateral loans and estate liquidation services at our convenient West Portal location. Buy, sell, and get a loan at San Francisco Gold Buyer.
Xfinity presents.
What do I think about Seth Rollins? I think he's a weasel and a thief.
I don't care what Brock Lesnar thinks about me. I'm the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
He didn't earn that championship. He stole it from me. At WWE Battleground, it's over.
Order now with your remote on Xfinity from Comcast.
I'm Anderson Cooper. This is CNN.
All right, any minute now, we should be seeing trading resume at the New York Stock Exchange. It's been out for just about the last 3 or so hours. This is one of 3 major entities affected today, all again in the same day because of technical issues, computer glitches. Again, we're hearing from very high levels that it was not at all, a cyber breach. We did hear specifically from the Homeland Security Secretary, Jay Johnson, addressing the situation with United Airlines, the ground stoppage this morning. Take a listen.
It appears, from what we know at this stage, that the malfunctions at United and the stock exchange were not the result of any nefarious actor.
Let's go straight to our business correspondent, Allison Cossack, standing with a trader there on the floor. And Allison, I can't wait to hear from him, but quickly, what are you hearing as far as when it will resume?
Yeah, there's a lot of skepticism from many traders that I've talked with. They're saying this is just a waiting game, and they're not too, they're very skeptical that the market's going to open in literally, 1.5 minutes. They don't see it happening. What do you think? Peter Tuchman here with me, a trader on the floor, a longtime trader on the floor. You just yelled, turn the machines back on.
Turn the machines back on. Are we actually going to reopen today? I'm not really sure. It's we were told between 2:45 and 3 o'clock we'd start getting the systems back up. The closing bell is really important to be on the floor of the exchange, and the closing bell and the flow that we get is kind of one of the things we do now. So I think they're really going to shoot for it. We just don't have enough information. They did promise we're going to reopen, so I would presume we will.
Why is it important to reopen, even if maybe they're not ready, but I would assume they would be ready if they're ready?
I don't believe if they're not ready, they will reopen. Okay? You cannot stop and start this situation. That will only fuel fear. Okay, the most important thing about this market is that people know. Look, I think the thing that everyone really needs to know is that what we've seen, we've been closed now for 3 or 4 hours. Okay, the composite index volume has not been out of whack with a normal day.
So it doesn't show.
It doesn't show that there's fear around, that people are, that we're sitting in Athens and we can't get our money out of the ATM. That's not what we're looking at here. We're looking at a situation in the biggest market in the world that has an unfortunate computer problem, that's been closed for 4 hours, and that we will reopen. If we do today, we surely will tomorrow morning. So I don't sense the fear. I think a lot of people there's a lot of that chatter that we should be scared that this has happened. I don't think there's any link to any kind of cyber attack. I think the most important thing is we have a problem, they're going to deal with it.
Okay, it's 2:45, Brooke clocking it. I don't see the machines on. Peter, you don't either.
No, but his promise was that between 2:45 and 3, that we're going to start to see some flow happen again. That the machine, we're going to be hitting, there's a question here whether we resume the market, we just hop into the middle of a race that's been going on all day. We do trade in other platforms around the world. So when we close, if people need to buy and sell stock due to fear or due to their positions, they're able to do it. They may not be as liquid markets as we have, but they're always able to do it. That's the key. That should diminish any question of fear in the world. So between now and 3 o'clock, if we can get our systems back up and running, disseminate information, we go into resume mode. We're not going to do a pre-opening reopen, which is how we open every day. We're just going to hit the floor running, which means that stocks have been trading around us all day long. We're going to hop right on in there. And then we're going to have our closing bell.
How is this floor going to look once trading does resume, if it does resume this afternoon?
There will be some scurry. People will be trying to, we're trying to resume our relationships with our customers that over the last few hours, they've obviously been busy doing other things. So we're going to convey information what the close looks like. There will be, I don't think there's panic, but there'll be excitement. There'll be a little scurry. We're going to try and just, catch up. There'll be a little catch-up. That's all there is.
This happened on an interesting day. Looking at the Dow right now, Brooke, the Dow down 242 points, not necessarily because of what's happening here at the exchange, but because of China, but because of Greece. Interesting, volatile day for this to happen on.
You know what? It's not a great day for it to happen. We opened down. Market's been down between 160 and 220 all day long. Did anything major happen in our market, in the composite market, after we stopped trading? Not that much. Has there been huge volatility? No. Now we're starting to see a bit of a sell-off. Okay, people may be wanting to get out of positions. There may be a little sell interest in the marketplace. That's it.
All right, we are watching the clock, Brooke. We'll let you know when it opens. Thanks, Peter.
All right, thank Peter Tuchman for us. You can tell he's been around the block a little while there. We appreciate that very much. We're going to listen. These are the people we want to hear from that just put it all in perspective for us, because so much of this is obviously psychological there on the floor. Allison Cossack, thank you. We'll return to you. Quick break. We're going to keep, of course, our eyes on the big board there to see if we see any movement, any more numbers ticking by the end of the trading day, 4 o'clock Eastern. Meantime, have you seen the huge national exclusive interview? Hillary Clinton sitting down with Breonna Keeler. We're going to talk to Carl Bernstein, speaking of people who've been around Washington for a little while. His take on Hillary Clinton coming up next.
It's not just a suit anymore. It's a mind change.
This July, bring your gently used professional attire to Men's Warehouse and we'll donate it to men re-entering the workforce. And as a thank you, you'll receive 50% off your next purchase.
Give a suit, change a life.
Benny's the oldest dog in the shelter. He needed help all day, so I adopted him. When my back pain flared up, we both felt it. I tried Tylenol, but it was 6 pills a day. With Aleve, it's just 2 pills all day. Now I'm back.
Aleve, all day strong.
No artificial flavors, colors, sweeteners, preservatives, and no artificial smiles. Because clean dressings taste better. Panera, food as it should be.
Are you missing out on life because you're putting off neck or back surgery? Call Laser Spine Institute, the leader in minimally invasive spine surgery, to learn how a less than 1-inch incision can have you up and walking within a few hours of surgery, free from chronic back pain, and with no hospital stay and no lengthy recovery. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with spinal stenosis, bulging or herniated disc, sciatica, or other chronic conditions, call today for your MRI review.
There were times my boss would send me home because I was in excruciating pain. Going to Laser Spine Institute, I go in, I have the procedure, and walk out a changed person, good to go back to work. I can't tell you how much happier I am. It's changed my life completely.
If you've been told you might need neck or back surgery, call 1-855-414-BACK for your MRI review.
Laser Spine Institute, a less than 1-inch incision, a lifetime of standing tall.
I'm Andy, and I lost 30 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Listen up, guys. Want to shed a few pounds this summer? Got a beer belly going on? Can't fit into your pants? I got one word for you, Nutrisystem.
I'm Essex, and I lost 43 pounds on Nutrisystem.
I'm Trevor, and I lost 60 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Lose weight fast with Nutrisystem's Fast 5 Plus kit. You can lose weight too. Real guys, real results.
I'm Michael, and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Put down the pie, pick up the phone, and get with the program today. Lose 5 pounds in your first week, plus 1 inch off your waist or your money back. Guaranteed.
The food was delicious.
If you're like me and you like to eat, this is what you get to do.
This is perfect for men, especially guys who don't want to cook.
So get off the couch and order your 28-day Nutrisystem plan right now. Get 1 week of Energizing shakes free and 1 week of NutriCrush shakes free.
It's not that hard. You eat the food, you lose the weight.
Call 888-633-SIZE right now and get Fast 5 Plus with shakes free.
The Superstar Funny Man.
Bill Cosby is this great man, this gentle soul. And then it hits.
The women who looked up to him and the shocking admission. No Laughing Matter, Inside the Cosby Allegations. Tonight at 9.
San Francisco, open your golden gates. You let no stranger wait outside your door.
Beach Blanket Babylon, San Francisco's own hilarious pop culture musical review. It's time to treat yourself. Beach Blanket Babylon is the perfect night out with family and friends. Visit our website for showtimes and tickets.
Xfinity presents.
I wouldn't want to fight me. None of them want to fight me. This is my time to shine, and I'm going to take that belt.
The welterweight champion of the world, Ruthless Robbie Lawler.
There is no denying that man is worthy of a title shot.
2 belts are on the line tonight. Oh! Wow! Oh,
Order now with your remote on Xfinity from Comcast.
State of the Union with Jake Tapper, Sunday at 9 and noon on CNN.
She is arguably one of the most recognizable politicians running for president here. But until now, Hillary Clinton had not had much to say directly to the national media about her run. She has now officially broken that silence in an exclusive interview with CNN's Brianna Keilar. This interview comes as a CNN poll finds fewer voters are finding Hillary Clinton honest and trustworthy. And Brianna asked her about that. Her numbers here falling from a high of 56% in March of last year to 42% just this past May. Now, in this interview, when they were sitting down in Iowa City, Hillary Clinton addressed anything and everything from the Republican field, quite crowded, Donald Trump. She was also quick to blame San Francisco for mishandling the case of that undocumented immigrant now charged with murdering a woman there recently. Take a listen to this clip.
Here's a case where we've deported. He ends back up in our country. And I think the city made a mistake. The city made a mistake not to deport someone that the federal government strongly felt should be deported. So I have absolutely no support for a city that ignores the strong evidence that should be acted on. When you are subjected to the kind of constant barrage of attacks that are largely fomented by and coming from the right, this has been a theme that has been used against me and my husband for many, many years.
Donald Trump is also creating quite a lot of commotion on the other side. He's a friend of yours, has been over the years. He donated to your Senate campaign, to the Clinton Foundation. What's your reaction to his recent comments that some Mexican immigrants are rapists and criminals?
I'm very disappointed in those comments, and I feel very bad and very disappointed with him and with the Republican Party for not responding immediately and saying, enough, stop it.
I want to bring in our CNN political commentator, Carl Bernstein, who also wrote the book about Clinton, A Woman in Charge, The Life of Hillary Rodham Clinton. So, Carl Bernstein, we're talking commercial break. So, first of all, kudos to Breonna Keeler for the interview. Secondly, when you watch the whole thing, about 15 minutes in entirety, and Breonna asked about all kinds of different issues, ending with, lighter notes on who should be on the face of the $10 or $20 bill. How did you feel? How did she come across to you, demeanor-wise?
That she didn't want to be there, but she knew. But she
her
knew
people told her she needed to be.
Well, no, she's smart enough to know that she has to be there. That her campaign has run up against serious obstacles that she and her advisors did not anticipate, and that they've got to regroup.
The emails, or what are you?
A whole series of things, including the server, the emails, the rollout of the campaign.
Yeah.
The foundation, all things going to the question of trust. And that's a long-time issue for Hillary Clinton, as I say in the closing pages of A Woman in Charge. She has had a difficult relationship to the truth going back to the Arkansas years. But I also go in that book to explaining what that means. And
what does that mean?
Well, it means, first of all, that you're talking about a very complicated woman, a very complicated family. You're also talking about a realm, a political realm, where most politicians have a difficult relationship to the truth. But she has said often how she is above that she really is better than a conventional politician. And she's got some serious problems here about the fact that people in this country who are inclined to like her and support her now are saying, wait a minute, there's a problem here. She's not wrong, incidentally, that her enemies and her husband's enemies in the cultural wars have a lot to do with this question of trust. And at the same time, there are many self-inflicted wounds because she very often wants to cut a corner on the whole truth. She very often obfuscates.
But that's why she was asked, because, from all of our colleagues who are covering, Camp Hillary, they have been counting the days, Carl Bernstein, till they finally would have a one-on-one interview with her. I mean, counting the days.
Look,
you saw the rope line over the weekend. If you want to show America you're trustworthy, you sit down with the press and say, here's who I am.
I'm not going to advise Hillary Clinton
how
to conduct her campaign. And this is a very long campaign. And we're still in the very early stages. And also, one of the things she's trying to do, and has done with great success, is to get her substantive message out and show how different it is from the Republicans. And that substantive message is carrying much more than Republicans would like. So you have these two phenomena going on at once. You have the question of trust, which is the real chink in the armor.
Okay.
That is a problem that can be exploited, and we don't know how it's going to turn out and whether or not it's going to really cause her greater difficulty or whether she can contain the damage. Then you also have the fact that the demographics of this presidential race, especially in the 10 or 12 states where the election is going to be decided, really favor the Democrats on the issues. And they are issues that she has expounded on and believed in and been very articulate about for 20, 35 years. So there's a consistent record she has. There's some things that are inconsistent, like everyone.
But how do you see it different? Do you see any shades of a different Hillary Clinton from when she was campaigning in 2008 to now?
Sure. Look, people evolve.
But what's the biggest difference you've noticed?
I don't think you can reduce it to a biggest difference. I think, one, she is trying to stay on message and be more thoughtful in her message.
She talks about listening, her listening tours.
Well, no, I don't think the listening tour thing has worked. I think when things work for her, it's when she talks about the things she passionately believes. She has this problem that goes to how she and her family are perceived by their enemies, but also their enemies are having an effect. The opposition is having an effect. The press is exploiting this because it is news and because these questions about the servers, these questions about the foundation, they are legitimate questions that the candidate needs to answer. Jeb Bush needs to answer about his servers. You can't oversimplify this stuff.
Right. I understand.
And that is what I liked about the interview was I thought that Brianna did not oversimplify, and that Hillary Clinton tried sometimes to oversimplify, particularly when she pushed back and said, oh, no, it's just my enemies. But she also gave some very thoughtful answers to real questions. And one other thing, Donald Trump
is
the greatest gift to the Democrats in this race thus far that we have seen.
You don't think also the Republicans?
No, not at all. Because on immigration, he has taken a nativist position that is so far out there that it isolates him, but also Hillary Clinton has been unambiguous about a path for citizenship, about some real amnesty, about human considerations for immigrants. Jeb Bush has been unable to say a path for citizenship, and I suspect that's going to cause him some real difficulty if the race comes down in the end to Jeb Bush and Hillary Clinton.
To Clinton Bush again. We'll talk
well,
again,
that's
Carl
a problem,
Bradstein.
too, that we could talk about sometimes.
We can't. I've got to get to this breaking news at the New York Stock Exchange, but as always, an honor and a pleasure.